Well, welcome to Hub. So glad that you're here. Welcome if this is your first Hub. I'm just thrilled that you made it. It's going to be a good day. Hey, this last Sunday was a fantastic message wrapping up our entire series on prayer. It was called I Gotta Pray About It. And the last message was called I Get To. If you haven't watched it on YouTube, you should definitely go to Vivid's YouTube page, watch it, the channel. Follow along, subscribe, do all of that stuff, share it around. It really helps us get the message out. But fantastic message. And Pastor Justin was talking all about not just the I have to, a burden to, I need to pray, but it's also such a privilege to come to God and to express our need and our desire to be near Him. So Mark 10 is where he was launching from, talking about Bartimaeus and the healing of a blind man named Bartimaeus. I'm going to read this passage for you. If you have your Bible right now, open it up. Chapter 10, starting from verse 46. It's about 8 verses. I just want to read through this and then share a couple thoughts. So it says this: Then they came to Jericho. This is Jesus and all his followers. As Jesus and his disciples together with a large crowd were leaving the city, a blind man, Bartimaeus, this is the son of Timaeus, was sitting by the roadside begging. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Many rebuked him and told him to be quiet, but he shouted all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called to the blind man, "Cheer up." It's funny, they were just saying shut up, and now as soon as Jesus said, "Hey, come," they're like, "Oh yeah, oh cool, yeah, come on, cheer up," they say, "On your feet, he's calling you." So throwing his cloak aside, he jumped to his feet and came to Jesus. This is really interesting. In verse 51 says, Jesus said this, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man said, "Rabbi, I want to see." "Go," said Jesus, "your faith has healed you." And immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. What an amazing story about the faith of one person. And I just want to pull a few points out of there, what Pastor Justin was talking about on Sunday. So the first thing that he said was, first sort of observation that he made was that Bartimaeus, he called out to Jesus. He was bold. He spoke up, and even amidst the people that were saying, "Be quiet," they were trying to silence him and shush him. He strategically placed himself at a point in the city where he knew he'd get good traffic. And when he heard it was Jesus, he didn't only acknowledge, "Oh, there's somebody here that's going to give me some money." He actually acknowledged him as Jesus, the Messiah, the Son of David. He recognized who Jesus was, and he spoke up. Second thing was he actually came to Jesus with anticipation. He was expecting something from Jesus. So it says that he actually threw off his cloak, which would have been his means of income and his whole livelihood. And it's a really interesting observation that he just threw everything that he had to the side because he knew that what he was going to get from Jesus would be more important, more valuable. And thirdly, third observation is Jesus asked him specifically, "What do you want from me?" And Bartimaeus was clear. He said, "I want to see." Now, I think this is amazing. It's pretty applicable. When we come to Jesus, there are a lot of different ways that we have maybe heard. Maybe you've heard, like me, if you really want prayer to work, you do it in this way. Or if you want to be an effective prayer, this is how you do it. And I think sometimes we can get caught into the mindset that prayer is an equation simply to get a result. If I give this, then I'm guaranteed this back, in this exchange of words, and then I'm going to get something. But really, prayer is so much more than that. As we come to Jesus, I found that with Bartimaeus, he spoke up. He spoke up. Then he expected. So he was open. He was opening up to Jesus. And thirdly, he was really specific. Now, how do we apply this to our lives today in our prayer? I want you to maybe ask in your hub, what is something, discuss this amongst your hub. What is something that is keeping me from speaking up to Jesus? Is it something that I am maybe doubting that he is able? Am I nervous? Do I lack faith that Jesus is even listening? So discuss that amongst yourself. What is something that I need to, what's keeping me from speaking up to God? Secondly, I want you to discuss what's holding me back from opening up to receiving who Jesus is. Now, have you ever tried like catching a football with your arms crossed? It's pretty difficult. I've never been able to do it. If you open up with anticipation, sometimes that means letting something go. And Bartimaeus, he dropped his cloak and he came to Jesus with nothing now. His hands were open. He was expecting and ready to receive. I want you to discuss, maybe there's something that you're hanging on to right now. Maybe it's like a backup plan, just in case Jesus doesn't come through. But what is something, let's examine our hearts and discuss that in your group, that maybe I need to let something go so I can fully receive what it is that Jesus has for me. And thirdly, be specific. Imagine if Bartimaeus said, when Jesus said, "Hey, what do you want from me?" And he said, whatever you want. It's your call, Jesus. Imagine if he was vague. I remember Pastor Justin saying a few weeks ago, be specific with our prayers. Let's not be vague in our prayers, right? Let's be specific. Jesus asks us to really be clear. And I think if we can gain that clarity of what we are asking from Jesus, that really helps us to understand what he's saying in return to us. And certainly when he comes through in a specific way, exactly how we asked, what an opportunity to give a testimony on what God has done for you. And I think right now, if you can discuss in your group something that Jesus has done for you specifically, what an amazing opportunity to encourage each other and to be uplifted in our faith. Okay, so speak up, open up, and sum it up. Sum it up. Sum up what you're asking Jesus. I think of SOS when I think of that. Like a call out for help. We call to Jesus in prayer. We need him. We even sang on Sunday the song, "I need you, Lord, I need you. Every hour I need you." All right, so amongst yourselves, discuss this and have a great time at Hub. Love you.